Four F5's Brock Lesnar is back. Monday Night Raw from Greensboro, North Carolina. Let's get into it. We start the show with Jacob Fatu going absolutely crazy on the Usos, pillar to post. Once again, I love the way they're doing this. The fact that the two Usos combined are just not enough for Jacob Fatu, not even at this present moment, is absolutely incredible. I love the way they're doing that. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief. It started with another chaotic segment, war, fighting, just all over destruction within this bloodline storyline, or the new iteration of the bloodline. Love it. So many characters involved within this story, and we now know that this is all going to culminate in tribal combat. Well, I think this is going to go much further than tribal combat, but at Saturday night's main event, or we're going to have tribal combat at Clash in Italy. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Something we have not seen for quite some time, I believe, if ever. So I'm not quite sure about that, if we've ever seen tribal combat before. However, we're going to see it now. That led us to the segment with Finn Balor versus JD McDonough. Now, it was a street fight. We all knew it was going to be a good fight. It was going to be a good match. But we've seen this time and time again. I think if they were going to make this a serious feud, they should leave it. They should leave it on a PLE. Not necessarily week after week after week on Raw and SmackDown. We're hoping, obviously, to rebuild Finn Balor. Don't know exactly how they're going to do that at the moment. When you've got Finn Balor perpetually in a feud with JD McDonough, I believe you need to bump him up. But for now, I mean, there's so many people on the roster doing so many different things that it is what it is, I guess. It might take some time for Finn Balor to make that climb, but he did win that match, so he is moving in the right direction, perhaps leading towards the Intercontinental title. Maybe Finn is going to take that off of, I don't know, Penta or someone like that. So I don't know where that's going with that, but we will see. That led to the Seth Rollins promo, which led into the Bron Breakker segment, and the whole idea was that Bron Breakker cannot beat Seth Rollins on his own. I'm fairly sure he can. They're kind of making something out of that. It's quite interesting the way they're doing that. In previous times before, we wouldn't see the Oracle Paul Heyman do what he does. We would just see the outer effect of it. Now we're kind of seeing inside the maniacal mind of, unlike Paul Heyman, when he says to Austin Theory, look, you go and take on Seth Rollins in the main event. Bron Breakker is displeased with this, and it turns out, hey, it's a plan. You now know where Seth's going to be, what time, where, and who he's going to be busy keeping his eye on, so you can sneak attack this man. You're starting to see why someone like Paul Heyman is so valuable in kayfabe, because we also know the development of WWE is extremely important. But within kayfabe, you're starting to see what makes the Oracle, the wise man and the Oracle. This led us to the Becky Lynch and Sol Ruka promo. I think this has been going quite well. Ever since the first week. I know Sol missed the Soul Snatcher a little bit the first week, or well, she didn't miss it. She slipped on the pop up. It is what it is. Accidents happen. This storyline looks like it's starting to cook, I must say, between Becky Lynch and Sol Ruka. I am enjoying what I'm watching so far. Sol looks excellent. We can tell already what level of superstar they are going to propel her to. So I think it's the biggest in the business. I've said this before. Bianca Belair is gone. I think Sol Ruka is the answer. A lot of people, their minds get stuck, and it's got nothing to do with essentially race or something like that, but people's mind gets stuck. Once you see Eddie Guerrero, you're always expecting another Mexican wrestler to come along. Sometimes he's not Mexican, because I think Montez Ford is the Eddie Guerrero of now, and we can't see it. A lot of people can't see it. As far as Bianca Belair goes, I believe that the equivalent to Bianca Belair right now is Sol Ruka. She has all of it packaged right in there. Kids will love her. The lads will love her. The young ladies will love her. Your mama's going to love her. Your daddy's going to love her. Your brother, your sister, everyone is going to love Sol Ruka. There is nothing to not love. And I say this as someone who looks at Sol Ruka as the package. It's not like I have no lads, men. It's not like I think, oh, Sol Ruka is so beautiful, so lovely. She is, but I mean, I see it as a package. So there's no bias here. She is just a great, fantastic performer, and I think she could get over wherever she goes, whenever. This leads us to, not the second week in a row, but very close. My award winner for best match of the night was El Grande Americano, OG El Grande Americano, and the brothers Hermanos. This is the real El Grande Americano, and Bravo and Ryo. Now, we all know who all these competitors are. This was an absolutely fantastic match. Once again, I have said this before, it's a crying shame that all these competitors have to put on masks to get into a match on the main roster. It's absolutely criminal when I think where some of these wrestlers have been before. I think of the dilution of Pete Dunne. I think of the dilution of Pete Dunne. Tyler Bates, I can understand because he was on the roster and he gets injured and he goes off and he comes back and then he's injured again. And nobody knows a great deal about Tyler Bates unless you watched NXT UK and NXT. So I quite understand that. But what was done with the Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne, phenomenal. I remember him versus Gunther when Gunther was massive, not the size he is now, where he's shaped down and he looks better. I remember big, massive Gunther versus the Bruiserweight, and when I tell you, it is some of the greatest of matches you will have seen. There's at least two of them, if I'm not mistaken. Pete Dunne, heavyweight champion, the NXT champion, or NXT UK champion, I think it was, and Walter comes for the title. And when I tell you, it is insane the match they had. When I think of what they've done with the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne since then, is just from Butch to it. Oh my God. Anyway, they all put on a fantastic show. Julius and Brutus, everyone in the match absolutely looked fantastic. So my Triple Crown champ winner for best match of the night, North Carolina, Greensboro, has to go to El Grande, Manos, Americanos, all. Congratulations, gentlemen. That took us to yet another Joe Hendry segment in which Joe Hendry would sing along, Paul, can we fire Logan Paul? Yes, it did. And it was an okay segment. It wasn't too bad. I expected quite literally an appearance from Logan Paul. I was expecting the music to, come over the... But no, we didn't get that. What we did get after that, however, was an Ethan Page promo. And once again, Ethan Page. He just has it, doesn't he? Michael Cole even said in that interview, I think he will go all the way to be one of the greatest champions in the WWE, and I think he will. I think he has the presence, I think he has the guile, I think he has all of what is necessary to propel him to the top as a top villain. I really do. And later he'll become like Randy Orton. We will love him for his debauchery and diabolical nature. So I thought it was absolutely excellent. And something that I stumbled on while watching the interview, and I thought to myself is, if the WWE plays this right, they could have their own variation of MJF. That could be how important Ethan Page is, all ego, to the WWE. Because I see a lot of traits of MJF within him. Obviously, it's a more kid-friendly show, is the WWE. However, there is room for Ethan Page to maneuver even within that. And I think he finds it week in, week out. So I think, Ethan will be fine. And I think he is the closest thing that the WWE has to an MJF. So that took us to the tag team title match between Paige and Brie and the Judgment Day. I was very concerned with this one, actually, I must say, because I thought to myself, well, how long are they going to keep the titles on Brie and Paige? Brie may be a tag team, but Paige isn't. Paige has always been a solo competitor, and she's always been just one of the best in the business while she's wrestling, while she's fit. I mean, there's been a lot of injuries, there's been hiatuses, etc. However, she has always been a top draw wherever she goes. As far as this tag team goes, Judgment Day look like an actual tag team. We know they're not. We know Raquel and Roxanne are put together. They're essentially singles competitors. But here's the thing. Raquel has been tag champions several times with Liv. Roxanne has been tag champions with Cora Jade. So the concept of them being tag teams is not far beyond them. They did it for long enough. Both of them did, with different tag teams. So in that respect, I could understand them putting the tag team titles on the Judgment Day again. It's almost like Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. They're singles competitor, but they have such a long storied history of being a tag team as well that it's completely believable to put tag team titles on them. Leads us to night, best promo of the night, And I don't say this for one segment. I say this for the different parts of the show he kept coming in. His conversation with Seth Rollins, where he had his bags and he walked out on Seth Rollins. His conversation with the two Uso brothers. All of these promos together, I kind of, in my head, I linked them together and came up with, he just did the best promos of the night. He was interesting. He was energetic. As always, he's very energetic. But he had something to say this time around that was very important to the progression of the storyline of all characters involved, including himself. So for that, LA Knight gets my award for best promo of the night, North Carolina, Greensboro. Congratulations to you, sir. So this brings us to the Oba challenge, and we all know what happened here, right? Oba comes marching down to the ring, hits his pose as he hits his pose, and I thought about this several weeks before. When those lights go down and the silhouette kind of comes on him, that would be an excellent time to attack Oba. It was. Brock attacked him. Brock came out. Yes, Brock is back. That makes Brock my very, very somber MVP of the night for North Carolina, Greensboro. Very somber MVP of the night. This is more of a violin. So here's what I see. There has been considerable concerns about Brock Lesnar's retirement. Now, when Brock Lesnar retired, it was a shock to everyone, and I mean everyone, including TKO and the WWE. What came after that was many reports that, in fact, what actually happened was Brock Lesnar was billed to lose to Gunther at SummerSlam. Gunther's character being the career killer and the legend career killer. Gunther was supposed to end Brock Lesnar's reign. Brock got wind of it. Brock heard about it. Brock did not like it. So Brock forced his retirement after the Oba Femi match. That is why Paul Heyman was so shocked. That is why Paul Heyman advocated so heavily into putting Brock Lesnar into the forever kind of. Remember when he talks about that, then, now, and forever? He wanted Brock Lesnar to be put in a certain category. In addition to that, when Brock Lesnar retired, you can see it. They keep showing the replays. He hits an X. That means this is real. So when he retired and he did that, it was very real. It wasn't kayfabe. When you see Brock Lesnar back now, I strongly suspect that because the WWE and TKO reportedly forced legal action against Brock, the simple answer to this is he just comes back and he does schedule. Another thing, for us to say Brock Lesnar isn't retired is also ridiculous, because what Paul Heyman said in the general manager's office was, in fact, in Adam Pearce's office, what he actually said was, this is a contract for Clash in Italy. He did not say he's coming back to the roster. It is a Clash in Italy match, a one-off, one-night match. I believe this is being done to appease the powers that be. I believe this is just avoiding the contractual fallout by a billionaire company against Brock Lesnar. Whether he's going to lose to Gunther, I would highly doubt it, because he's probably still not going to play ball as that. Whether he will win against Oba Femi, if he's leaving, once again, it does not make sense for him to win. And if you have Oba Femi lose now, you crush the momentum you've built to make this man who he is. He is now on the posters. I was watching just before Raw started last night. I clicked on, and the poster for Monday Night Raw was Oba Femi's face. How long has he been on the roster? So when I say this, I mean, I don't think we should lean too much into Brock Lesnar's appearance at Raw. I think it's a contractual obligation, and I think he was forced into it to a certain extent. And considering the fact that nobody forces Brock into anything is saying something as far as the power of a TKO and the WWE right now. That's all I've got to say about that. MVP of the night, Greensboro, North Carolina, Brock Lesnar. Unfortunately, I can't clap. It will be a violin. That brings us to the final match of the show. We knew this was a setup from the beginning. Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins, and Braun was going to come out and have his way at the end of the match, as so he did. Actually, the match was very good. And I think Austin Theory shows you that he's forever working. He's a very, very good wrestler. For me, there's something that doesn't get over in his characterization, and that is it. Other than that, I think the boy is sound. He's absolutely sound. He's a great wrestler, and he performs very well. It's not crazy that the WWE like him and they want to push him whenever he's fit. So yeah, I think he did very, very well. I was very impressed with him. And once Seth has a dance partner to work with at the highest level, he looks so good, so good. And I thought this was a better match than we actually anticipated. We should look at this as being something of a PLE in maybe 2 or 3 years. This particular match, Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins. All we have to do is build Austin Theory's character a little bit more. And I think in a storyline, I think you have an absolutely phenomenal match between these two because they worked excellent together. Now, so, in other news, it has been reported on by Dave Meltzer and PW Insider that Baron Corbin may actually be making a return to the W locker room. It'll be interesting. I actually think once Baron Corbin left, he looked absolutely fantastic. It was almost like he had more freedom out there on the independents. I will also say that the best Braun Breaker I've ever seen in my life was the Braun Breaker that works with Baron Corbin when they were tag team champions. They were interesting. They were quite funny. I really enjoyed that time between the two. So maybe there's something like that coming together as far as Baron Corbin and the Vision. I don't know. But it will be great to see Baron Corbin back. I actually think it would be a very, very good idea to see the Lone Wolf. I remember the long hair. Shaved head now, but I remember the long hair Baron Corbin, the Lone Wolf. That was an excellent character. Well, that is it for now. If you like the content, please hit like, subscribe, hit the notification button. I'll let you know when I've uploaded next. And until then, I have been the Triple Crown Champ. I'll see you next time.